Hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm Kat, the Nurse Flipper. I'm a full-time reseller. I was a nurse. I walked away from that career in February of 2022. And last week I put out a video with my numbers. So we sold about $250,000 together on all of the reselling platforms we sell on. So today I am going to tell you what our goal is, and I'll cut to the chase because I'm gonna put it in the thumbnail. I would like to hit $500,000 in sales this year, and in this video I'm gonna tell you exactly how I plan on doing that. I'm also gonna tell you my goals for 2023 for my personal life as well as my YouTube channels. I do have two of them, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I hope you are having a wonderful New Year's Day. Happy New Year's to all of you. Thank you for spending a little bit of it with me. And I'm gonna start off by telling you my personal goals, because the biggest reason that I quit my nursing job was to be able to spend more time with family. So I wanna kind of get back to that core ideal this year, and I want to have more free time to spend with family. Now, I am fortunate enough, we have not missed any events. Dalton has started pre-K, my 4-year-old, and so we go when he has a school party or any event. Both myself and my husband Brad are able to go and spend that time with him, no matter what day it is or what time we are able to go. So we have done that since he started school, and then next week we are actually taking a week's vacation. We are going down to Key West because my daughter Brooke is turning 21. So we are able to take that family time. So we will be gone for a week for her 21st birthday down to Key West. Now, as far as finding more time for that, I think the biggest key for me in 2023 is going to be to cluster stuff together, which is pretty familiar in the nursing profession. You kind of cluster what you need to do so that you can get more done. And that in this business means I need to be more efficient. So I need to make lists and figure out exactly what needs to be done to be able to get it done in a shorter period of time where I have more free time to spend with my family, because that is the whole goal of going full-time reselling, is to be able to be there more for family. So I want to work better on scheduling and putting aside time for family as well as dedicated time for the business, because the business definitely needs that dedicated time just as much as family does. Now, another thing that I have done recently in the business to help as far as personal time is I have hired an assistant. So Lynn started last week. I am very, very happy with her progress. She is doing absolutely great, and I am training her to do everything that I do on eBay with the exception of pricing. I think that pricing and researching is just a little more in-depth and more difficult than what I want to get into, especially in the beginning of someone's employment. But Lynn is responding to customer requests. She's responding to returns. She is also pulling, packing, and shipping all of the items, which is a great load off of my shoulders, which gives me more time to dedicate to sourcing for the business as well as to price and get those drafts up that my listers are doing. And we do have 3 people that are listing. They are listing part-time, so it is not a ton of drafts. And then Lynn will also be listing, and she has been listing. She's just kind of getting into the swing of things, so it's not a ton of listings right now, but I am able to go behind them, check the listings, do the research, price it, and get those listings up every day. Another thing I really want to do as far as personal goals is to declutter my house. I don't have a ton of reselling stuff in my house, but I have a lot of stuff, and I really need to declutter, let that stuff go. I want to have less stuff in my house. Now, just as an example, I haven't sold my nursing scrubs. I have not been actively nursing in almost a year now. Next month is going to be a year, and I still have all of those scrubs hanging in my closet, which could be quite a bit of money. So I need to get those listed. And kind of contradictory to that, one of my personal goals is actually to get my spare bedroom in my house cleaned out, and we would like to make it a Whatnot space. We have been doing 4 to 5 Whatnot sales a week, and I'm going to talk about Whatnot as it pertains to my personal business goals, because it is a very, very big part of those. And so we want to clean out the spare bedroom and basically make that a jewelry office. So I am only selling jewelry on Whatnot. So we want to get our setup that we use to do Whatnot shows, as well as a little packing station where Whatnot is kind of contained into that one room. Right now we do our shows on the kitchen table, and the packing is done out here in the shed. So with Lynn starting work, we kind of need a separate space because my daughter packs Whatnot, where Whatnot and eBay can be running at the same time. So our goal is to clean out that spare room. For a long time, I wanted to have that spare room where people came over, but the reality is nobody really comes over. Richard Otnip Drop Flips came earlier last year, and nobody's been here since. And the reality is we just really don't have people staying over at the house. So there is really no reason for me not to turn that spare bedroom into a really cool jewelry office and kind of a studio for Whatnot. All right, so as far as business goes, as I said at the beginning of this video, I would like to increase my sales for all platforms to $500,000. Sounds really, really scary, and it is a really big amount. But we hit $250,000 last year, and that was without any full-time employees except for myself. So I did have a few people that helped me list part-time, but I didn't have any other full-time employees. So this year we have Lynn working with us full-time. So that in itself should lend us, you know, probably a 20-25% increase in sales. However, we have also added Whatnot. So the $250,000 in sales we did was across platforms. And if you missed the video, I did have a video out last week that tells you all about my sales totals for last year. And I'll pop that up top if you would like to go watch it if you did not see it. So we only started Whatnot back in September, and our highest sales month on Whatnot was actually $27,000. So that is on the high end. We typically can hit about $5,000 a week if we're doing 4 to 5 shows, because we hit close to $1,000 per sale. I normally run 100 jewelry items, so that means we have about a $10 per item average. Now on Wednesdays, or at least one day a week, I've been trying to do sterling silver, which typically goes up to about $15 to $20 per piece. And that means that show is $1,500 to $2,000. So that kind of covers if some of the other shows don't hit that $1,000 mark. And hitting $5,000 a week is perfectly attainable for Whatnot. Now I might have to adjust through the year and either find better inventory or do more sales or sell more items, but I think that running 4 to 5 a week, doing $20,000 per month is completely doable, which that alone is $240,000 from Whatnot. eBay ended up at $165,000. So getting eBay up over that $200,000 mark should not be difficult now that we have myself as well as one full-time employee. So that gets us close to $450,000. And then I would really like to increase our other platforms up to $50,000 for the year. They were only at about $20,000 for last year, but we didn't put a ton of time into them. We weren't on Mercari that long. We got kicked off Mercari, then we got kicked off Facebook. So what I would like to do, and I will probably trial it for a 30-day period, is have Lynn spend a couple of hours a day going into Mercari and Etsy and actually hashtagging our listings so that they're found better in search. Because we have really, besides posting the listings onto those platforms, we have not put a ton of time in to those platforms and having more sales there. I do run promotions over on Etsy, so that does help a little bit, but I think hashtagging and keywording our listings could make a really, really big difference on those platforms, and that is definitely something that I want to try. Now, I have not had my mom do it while she's cross-posting because I think that would be just a little bit too much on her plate. So I'm thinking if we try for 30 days, have Lynn go in for 2 hours a day, add some hashtags, add some keywords, and see, you know, what happens with those other platforms. Now, we do use a service on Poshmark to share out our listings and send offers to watchers. The one that I use is One Shop, and I'm happy to send you a coupon code for that if you are interested. And that has made a pretty big difference in our Poshmark sales, I feel. Now, as far as hitting those sales, one of the things is I'm going to have more time to source, and I will concentrate on sourcing higher dollar items and finding better quality items so that that increases our sales by having better quality of items and listings. And Lynn is doing what I am horrible at. If you have known me for any time, I'm not the greatest at customer service. So Lynn is responding to all customer questions. If they have questions about products or anything like that, her job is to go in the morning. She responds to every message that we get, and that way the customers are getting more attention, and hopefully that in itself will also bring us more sales. So basically by hiring Lynn, that is gonna have me being full-time on Whatnot and putting the time into cataloging, sourcing, and doing the live sales on Whatnot. My daughter Brooke does do the packing for that, and then Lynn will be full-time over on eBay, so it'll be like we are running two separate businesses. And I haven't really encouraged people a ton to sell on Whatnot because I know it can be very, very difficult depending on your personality, how much stuff you can source. If you have a following, it could be a very, very difficult road to sell on Whatnot, and that's why you won't hear me talk about selling on there much unless I'm showing you what I am gonna have available, because I bring a lot of deals that are really, really excellent opportunities for resellers to make good profits on jewelry. But as far as trying to convince everybody to sell on Whatnot, that is not something you will hear from me, just because it's not for everybody. It's not the platform for everybody. eBay, you take your pictures, you list your items, you've got this giant audience that is kind of built in for you, where on Whatnot, you do have to work quite a bit to build that audience up if you do not already have a following, which luckily I do, and I did work years to get it to where it's at. But if you don't have that, it would definitely be a long road on Whatnot to get to the level where I am. So you're not going to hear me trying to convince you to sell on there much. If you want to, and it excites you, please do it. Don't let me discourage you, because it can be done. I've seen multiple people with no social media following who are extremely successful on Whatnot. You have to have good inventory, you have to have a good personality, and you have to be consistent. Just like with anything in business, you have to be consistent to get that done. So another thing for me is I really want to be more kind of cognizant about my numbers and what is going in and what is going out. If you know me, you know I don't do spreadsheets, and I do have an accountant do monthly bookkeeping for me. We do the cash method. We do money in, money out. So I spent X amount and we sold X amount, and we figure out the difference. So it's really kind of a simplistic way to do accounting, but I am going to start using my reseller Genie, which is a accounting online data site, and they actually pull in your information from eBay and from the other platforms. You can enter your inventory in, you can enter your cost of goods, and you can really keep track of what your profits are, what your numbers are, and that will give you some data to give to an accountant, so you'll kind of have a heads up on that, and it will help any accountant that you choose to use. So if you would like to try my Reseller Genie, my coupon code is the same as it is for List Perfectly that we used to cross post. That is the Nurse Flipper, all one word, no spaces, and it is capitalized. You'll get 15% off of your first month, and their plans actually are pretty low cost. They run from $9.99 up to $19.99. So if you want to check those out, use my code, get a discount, and try like I am going to stay on top of your numbers, know your profits, know your bottom line, and exactly how healthy or unhealthy your business might be. All right, let's talk about YouTube. So you're watching right now on the Nurse Flipper channel, which is my main channel, and we are almost to 59,000 subscribers. We actually ended last year at 19,000. So we have gained over 40,000 subscribers through the year. So this year was kind of it was a surreal year. I had a couple of videos go viral, and while I would love for that to happen again, I don't want to base goals over hoping that I will have another viral video. So my goal for 2023 would be to get to 80,000 subscribers on the Nurse Flipper channel. So that's about 20,000 subscribers. I think that is attainable. I just have to be consistent, which I have been pretty good about throughout the length of my channel. I am posting videos every Sunday and Thursday now, as well as my weekly Tuesday night lives. I will continue doing that. So my goal is to hit that 80,000 mark, and I honestly would be very happy just to maintain my income where it is now. I have not disclosed that, and I did decide not to share it, not at this time. I might reconsider in the future, but as of right now, I am choosing not to. So please respect that. I don't feel comfortable sharing that at this time. But I also have a second YouTube channel, and that is Catch Treasure Hunting. And that one is almost up to 6,000 subscribers. So my goal for that channel, since it is smaller, is to get it up to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And I think that's very attainable. I have only been posting one video per week, but sometime around the end of this month, I might try to ramp it up a little bit and do 2 videos per week, because with Lynn here running eBay for me, I should theoretically have more time to go sourcing, where I can put out 2 sourcing videos a week. If you're not familiar, my Cat's Treasure Hunting channel is all thrifting, garage sales, flea market. It's all me going out sourcing. So definitely go over, subscribe to that channel if you haven't checked it out yet. I do try to put out 1 video a week on that. So the goal for that one will be 10,000 subscribers for this year. All right, other social media. I'm going to try to get back on TikTok. I'm not really putting that on my goals because it's not high up there, but I would really like to be a little more consistent with my Instagram posts, showing you guys some of the products I use, like my bubble wrap, List Perfectly. Also, I really like to put out motivational quotes. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I love putting out motivational quotes. I share pictures of myself and Dalton, and when we go do fun things. Instagram is a place to see those. So if you want a little behind the scenes and a little more personal stuff, follow me on Instagram. My name is the Nurse Flipper, and I want to try and consistently post more there. I did good off and on at most times through this year, but I had a couple months where I really slacked, and I don't want to do that anymore. And as far as other kind of miscellaneous goals for the year, I did a few live masterclasses this year, and I have had a few people ask me about those. So I really would like to put together a masterclass for starting eBay, but that is going to be a very hard class to put together, and it's going to take me a lot of time. But that is something that I really want to do, because I know a lot of you that watch me have not taken that initial leap to start on eBay. And I want to have something that is detailed and will step by step help you in how to do that. And then I think maybe doing one masterclass per month might be something that is attainable. I kind of went gung-ho crazy and was doing one class per week, and I think that was a little too much for me as well as you. So I think I'm going to dial that back. Maybe we'll try to do one class per month with a different topic or subject, and maybe we will see how that goes. So that is kind of the end. I think that hitting 500,000 with Whatnot, eBay, as well as Etsy, Mercari, and Poshmark is attainable. I really think that is an attainable goal. I will keep you updated throughout the months on how we're doing. I just posted a photo today on Instagram showing the growth we have had just since Lynn started last week. It is pretty impressive. So again, check that out over on Instagram. Let me know what your goals are, if they're personal, if they are related to reselling. Share them down in the comments. Let's all show some other resellers, and even if you're not a reseller, others in this community, some support on our goals, and let's be there for everybody. I always advocate, be nice, guys. I don't want any meanness on my channel. You can take it somewhere else. Thank you all so much for the support throughout 2022, and I look forward to all of us growing together in 2023.